Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, buenas tardes. Vale, se escucha buenas tardes, buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, buenas tardes. A ver. Vamos a poner esto. Voy a abrir esto, que el juego ni siquiera lo he abierto. No tengo nada preparado. está. Vemos. Digo, ¿qué hacemos? Esto, no. Esto. Y empezamos. Espero que sea ya el puto final. Nos lo acabamos de una. Historia, ¿quiere continuar la puta historia? Vale, bien. Vale, enter.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street.
Esto lo tengo muy alto.
He can't stand against the Daltons.
Espérate. Espérate. Tengo que hacer esto, quitar esto. Hostia. Esto. Tengo que cerrar esto. Vale. Vale, ahora. Hostia, ¿por qué? No escucho tan bajo, Vale, de la ruleta del teclado.
Kill that cocksucker.
La ruleta del teclado mejor, venga, lío, toma por culo.
We'll have to do everything.
The story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The boys grew up in Coffeyville, so everybody knew them. The bank teller tricked them, telling them the time lock on the safe wouldn't open till 9:30.
Put some holes in him.
Muertos, vale, perfecto. ¿Secreto o revólver? Ah, puerta. Vale. Revólver engarnazo. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás, hijo de puta? ¿Dónde estás, hijo de puta? Estaba por aquí. Epa. Tío, me sale por aquí, no lo veo. No me sale, ¿eh? Hostia. Hostia puta, que está flotando el puto revólver, tú. Estaba flotando el puto revólver, tú. Prefiero tener el de Ranger, tío. El de Ranger y no tengo puntos. O sea, Una pipita, sí, pero detrás de esta puerta no.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity. But everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Hostia, ya empezamos.
First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months, and now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait the son of bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. So he went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind.
Acabo de ver. ¿Me va a soltar el sniper? Ah, escopeta. Sí que era el puto sniper, me había emocionado.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Vale, los dos muertos. Revolver rápido.
Hide, you lily-livered son of a bitch!
Ah, vale. Vale.
You ain't stopping me.
Sé que es rápido de coger, no sé.
You rue the day!
Vale, esto fuera. Fuera también.
You can't hide from me!
Fuera. Vale, hay una piecita cerca. Aquí estás.
Over there!
That's Silas Greaves.
What the hell? Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Tenemos un nivel, pero ahora cuando... Vale, esto no sé.
His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
Hostia, otra vez. Bueno, aquí está el Ranger. Si no me equivoco, porque este es el rápido. Luego, el fusil, si lo puedo mejorar, que es lo que me molaría tener. Sin apuntar, si mantienes pulsando la Q. Vale. Ya tenemos el fusil.
It was early evening, not high noon.
Marfil.
I was late to the party and Coffeeville was
Marfil
already
era lo
up in
blanco
arms.
de ayer. Hostia.
The
Yo
Daltons
diciendo
blew up
mármol.
the safe,
Marfil.
and we're all set to hightail it out of
Mal
there.
no iba, Me consta. Que mal no iba, mal no iba.
That's it for you. I'm in this.
Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Líder
I've been
amante,
tracking
perdedor.
those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville.
You can't get me. Oh, this is too good for 'em. You gonna need a cannon. There he is.
¿Dónde vas, pichita?
Hey, you got us a deal. Put some holes in him.
And those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail.
La primera, en la frente.
Hey, you got us a deal. Put some holes in him.
And those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the
Encima
Smiths,
te
I
dan 2
believe.
balas extra.
They were cousins of the
Cargador
Daltons.
ampliado.
And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Falta un segundo. Escuché. Yo justo digo, iba a decir, falta un secreto. Zasca.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape.
Vaya. Vaya trampas más rudimentarias, ¿no? Pero había más troncos ahí.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
¡Hostia!
You ain't getting by me, Greaves. You are dead, Law Dog.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Perfecto. Siguiente.
We'll get those suckers!
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
A por los Dalton, a fuego. Vale, parece que esto...
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Vale, veo...
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Ya me acuerdo de esta puta misión. Punto de no retorno.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Bury them in the swamp! Plant them where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone.
Vale, cargamos.
I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that!
Tío, que le estoy apuntando y no se muere.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Ain't no things to hide from me! I'm gonna cut you in two!
Hijos de puta.
My reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Point being, I was under serious attack.
Kill that goddamn bounty hunter!
Fusil recortado.
Can't beat us all!
Mucho más rápido. Menos daño. Mucho menos preciso. Me quedo con el mío. Es más lento, pero es más preciso. Y... mejor.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
Recortada, que la mira recortada. Ni me va ni me viene.
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
Ah, es el de la historia que está sobando. Pensé que era el tío este que se hizo el torneo.
Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
¿Indios?
Indians? They were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Es que para buscar aquí los secretos, sí lo tengo, ¿eh?
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Vale, vamos a empezar a desbloquear. Espérate. Esto es de las dinamitas. Esto es recarga Ranger. Y luego aquí, bueno, vamos a terminar de esto. Quedan 2 niveles, lo terminamos y empezamos con las 2 manos. Me voy a tener el Ranger cheto y el rápido cheto también. Y al último la escopeta, que a mí la escopeta ni me va ni me viene.
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
eso que...
Keep missing.
Me renta más estarme con las pistolas que no con los fusiles.
That's it for you.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
De momento no he encontrado ningún secreto, ni uno. Lo hago más consciente que otra cosa, en verdad.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
¿Ya? Hostia, hostia.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Ya, pensar que sí que lo cogía.
You lily-livered son of a bitch.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Una Gatling. Ahí está la primera de 3. La Gatling. Vale, no, por aquí, por ahí.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me.
Gracias. Botón de insectos,
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived.
No.
Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged
¿Y
pursuit.
qué hace este jambo aquí cuando había todo ese ejército ahí?
Huh? But it turned out that they had me.
No
Take him
sabía.
out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played
Not
me
so
like a
tough after
fiddle.
all, is he?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in
Did
a
you hear
fight.
about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid,
refieren al
Steve. They know
Titanic?
what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
El
oh
Titanic.
God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark.
teorías que hay con
I
el
was
puto
coughing up
Titanic y-
smoke and pretty damn pissed.
Y el
I was
hermano
done
gemelo.
playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Oh, mamá.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time.
34!
They were in this together.
Let's fucking
Two
go, mate.
brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Hostias. Mierda, 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 mierda. Se me jode, se me jode, se me jode. 2 contra 1 y dispara primero el de la derecha. Vale. 300 de protección es de 0,4. 0,495. Con el ratón. Vale. Vale, como si fuera la primera vez, ¿sabes? Es que esta mierda se mueve sola, tío.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Hostia. Pues no encuentro las otras tres. O sea, las otras dos. 104 muertos, puntería 50%. Siguiente.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. and I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch. I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Secreto. Lo sabía. ¿Cómo se notaba, tú?
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Vale, tiro a distancia entero. Y esto.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
I will kill you!
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Hostia puta, cómo he fallado balas con esto. Cómo he fallado balas con esto.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Get out here!
You rule the day.
Time to fill you full of lead. Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Vale, segundo secreto. Subo aquí por el tronco, ¿no? ¿No? Vale, pues no. No me polla, Abrir. Ah, coño, la escalera.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
You mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? He's out of his mind! Okay, now you're really... Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody! He'll kill us all! You ain't seen my max of me. I'm gonna cut you with this.
Vale. Esta la vemos. Y ahora. Vale, última. Cargamos. Y puertas, supongo, ¿no?
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was gonna stay on old Bob's trail. Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that. On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Ale.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Bien, todo fuera. Chuparla. El tren de la 1:30 al infierno.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with them.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he? Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Who's shooting at?
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts. And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite. So I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards.
Vale, fuera.
A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
No lo veo, No los veo, no los veo. Ah, míralos.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Por eso me gusta más el poder de arranque del otro. Tienen más daño. Mucho más daño, que el rápido, ¿verdad? Vale.
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Más rápido que bajar las escaleras es. Mierda.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Es más lento recargando, pero tiene más daño, más alcance. Pero es que no te he visto. El tío de esta, y detrás también te he visto. Quita cerca, ¿dónde?
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Ahí mi colega. Esto es rebuscado, ¿eh?
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Hostia. Sí, y la pepita, ¿dónde está?
Reaching it in time would have been unfortunate.
Vale. Ahí arriba.
Of course, I had to tread carefully.
¡Me he matado!
Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Puta, tío. Hostia puta, tío. Hostia puta, tío.
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to perdition!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Vale. ¿Tengo las 3 o no? Vale. Si me interesa. ¿Tengo las 3 o no tengo las 3? Uy, no, logros no. Pepitas de la verdad. Kit Curry. Pues casi. Falta uno. Flatness. Pues no tengo ni idea, sinceramente.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded. Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Está ahí la puta pepita. La última está en esa caja.
You can't hide forever. You can't beat me. Stupid contraption.
I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Cago en la puta.
What are you? Yellow? This is the last mistake you'll ever make. God damn it, I need some help here. Come on, boys. Take this subbitch out. You guys back there. Give me a hand here, goddammit.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Vale. Concéntrate.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
Siguiente. Ya está, acabarnos el juego.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Yeah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
25.000 pasta en aquel entonces, cuidado,
I confronted them as they were robbing a train.
Hostia.
Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
Aquí se viene después. Hay 3 dentro. Hostia.
You can't fight James, gang!
Now wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this. They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train.
Ah, chuparla.
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that...
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
¿Detrás? ¿Cómo que detrás?
You'll die for this, you hear me?
You ready for a belly full of butt shot?
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
Uno de ellos se piensa que es mentira. Que no soy él.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof.
What?
It was a rickety ride and quite precarious.
Ay, la madre que me...
It was definitely safer on the inside of the train. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
It's a damn Pinkerton!
Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Yes.
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
La escalera. Hostia, ahí adelante está el arco. Ah, vale, vale, ya lo entiendo. Carrería saltar. Carrería y saltar.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Vale.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Putting you down.
Pablo. Está muy cargado el puto revólver. Hijo de la gran ¡pum! Ay, Dios mío.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Get out here, you coward! You hear me?
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle. After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim.
Al Leo. A por esos cabrones.
I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the Reds and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Injuns?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then. Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time... Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men. Darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
So, did you ever find him?
Who?
The man you were after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Ooh, death. Ooh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? Oh, death. Someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? No wealth, no land, no silver, no gold. Nothing satisfies me but your soul. Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son-bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing. I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
A ver, espérate. Vale. Ahora vienen los snipers. ¿Serviría de algo? Dispara.
guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother, Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well.
See you.
He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin. He was determined to have me dead.
Hostia. Vaya dos tiros me ha metido.
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
Hit that son of a bitch! Take him out! He's just one man! Put him down! I want that bastard dead!
Old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
Me salta la pepita.
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life! Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will! At this point, I just don't give a shit!
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him! I never did like that bastard! I am done here!
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts, as I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again. But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that son-of-a-bitch out. "Hey, Reed!" I shouted. "No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me."
Son of a bitch!
Ah, que tengo que entrar.
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Eventually,
Vale.
it was just me and Reed.
Vale. Hostia.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Puta. Lo chungo es lo de la derecha, lo de izquierda. Muy lento. Sí, cuando... Hostia, velocidad de 5,7, tío. Hostia puta. Pues hijo de puta, no para de moverse. Pasito aquí, pasito allá.
And repay him I did. Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame he never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him. Six months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying. "40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now."
1910.
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
But for all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after?
Ooh. Vale.
By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends, no purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead. Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades.
¿Dentro de la casa o qué? Sí.
The town was falling apart, just like me. But I wasn't about to call it quits.
Vale, aquí no hay nada. Estoy buscando también las putas pepitas.
Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo.
¡Oh! 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 ¡Hostia! Los hermanos McCall. Espérate. Espérate, porque si es lo que creo que es, vale. Porque a lo mejor me he venido muy arriba. Lo sabía. Lo fucking sabía. Ray y Thomas McCall son los hermanos del primer Call of War, del Bound in Blood. Blood. Bueno. Casi ahorran del mapa y eso. Hijos de puta. Tengo que traer los otros dos.
Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
Hasta ahí, tío. Escucho pasos.
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was onto them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had. He's tearing right through us! What the hell is that
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us today.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Vale.
Because when I woke up...
From the dead?
There was silence all around me. I can swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. here, and there, and even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer, Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered him.
Vaya momento fumada, ¿eh? Cuatro de cuatro, vale.
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
La puta, tío. Joder. Chungo esto,
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Thought?
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive. Then I heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
El bueno, el muerto y el malo.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Eda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
¿Cómo coño hago yo esto? Duros a la mexicana. ¡Ay! No te creo. Joder. Hostia puta, tío. Ay, Dios mío. Al 100% lo tenía. La velocidad de la mano al 100%, tío. La primera vez en todo el juego que lo tengo al 100%.
Butch Cassidy
Me la
and the
suda,
Sundance
deshonrado,
Kid
me la
died
suda.
there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Chuparla, coño.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh, man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
What?
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Hostia, venganza. Me la suda. Venganza.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
Pero claro, porque el otro porque no se ha dado cuenta de que era...
That's how you want it. So be it.
¿Por qué no se ha dado cuenta de que era él? Contando toda la puta historia y diciendo los nombres.
Right, Molly, move against that wall. Go!
Hostia, de esto sí que no me acordaba. En absoluto. ¿A la puta vez? Fuck. Son of a bitch.
Seemed tougher in his stories, didn't he?
Put.
Oh my god! Oh, Jesus!
Chuparla.
Did you know it was him all along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Greaves.
So where you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
Oh, mamá. Oh, mamá. No me esperaba ese... Bueno, decir que no me esperaba ese final, después de decir en principio del juego que ya me lo había petado. Pero es que me lo había petado hace muchos años. Hace años ya. Fin del juego. New Game Plus. Observando las armas identificados, tal. Esto supongo que es para el tema de los logros. Que los logros... Hostia, escopetazos. Todas estrellas en modo arcade. Termina el desafío de duelo. Mata a un pájaro durante un duelo. Hostia. Todas las pepitas. En dificultad oeste real. Oh, mamá. Misión máxima de misión arcade. Bueno, me lo consigo la mitad. 12 de 26. Pepitas de la verdad. Jim Reed y Bellstar. Mucho texto, tú. Murió en el 1874 en París, Texas. Herida en una bala. El primer marido de la infame Bellstar, la reina de los bandoleros. A quien se conoció los hijos de Bellstar, también conocido como también conocido como los Younger. También conocida. Joder, cuántos nombres le han metido hasta aquí, tú. Nueva York, 23 de mayo de 1891. Claro, la de esto. Porque ya murió en 74. Todas las muertes. Perdón. Entonces yo ando robando caballos, tal. Su hermana P se dedicaba a la presión más antigua del mundo. Su hermana P de la puta, básicamente. Regentó el burdel Fort Smith, Arkansas, hasta la Primera Guerra Mundial. Frank James. Mi hermano. Por ser el hermano mayor de J.J. durante la guerra. Un partisano durante la guerra de secesión. Uno de los líderes de la banda durante la guerra, tal. Se dice que participó en el infame masacre de 200 hombres y niños de Lawrence. Hostia. 200 personas muertas. Hostia. Qué masacre, tú. Se entregó al gobernador de Missouri diciendo que durante 21 años he mandado al caza y he vivido pegado a la silla de montar. Sin un día de descanso, así inquieta. También terminó la frase que el gobernador desde mi presentación no he dejado a nadie tocar a mi arma. No es sorprendente, pero no le condenaron por sus crímenes. Murió a la respetable edad de 72 años en 1915 después de tener varios trabajos, incluido en el área turística de la gran familia James. ¡Hostia! Que no lo ejecutaron. 25 centavos por persona. Hasta 1915. O sea, llevaba un año de guerra mundial. Por entonces, si no me equivoco. Porque la primera fue del 16... Perdón, del 14 al 10... Sí, ¿no? Sí. Del 14. Del 14 al 18, sí, 4 años. Como la segunda. Del julio a noviembre, vale. Confirmado. Con... no sé cuántas millones de personas muertas. Kid Curry. Luego también Grupo Salvaje. Busca si son de aquí, se conoció por diferencia de los vídeos de la banda que tienen bandidos buenos. Kid Curry era despiadado. Ni dudaba en disparar a quien se introdujo en su camino. Hostia, Hijo de puta. Ahí lo tienes tan tranquilo, sentado. Y no dudaba en disparar. Qué perro. Luego escribió. No tiene nada que desalegrar. El único criminal de que no puedo decir nada bueno. Antes de su personaje, colaborador de la banda Blackjack. Era un infame criminal que fue colgado en 1901 por intentar asaltar un tren. La cuerda que se usó para ahogar era demasiado rígida y le arrancó la cabeza de cuajo. Por suerte para él, no. Hostia, o sea, le intentaron colgar, la cuerda era demasiado rígida y al abrir la trampilla, decapitado. Probablemente acabará cuando se le siguieran hasta Parachute, Colorado, donde participó en el ataque contra el Berridor, perseguido por una cuadrilla de Kid Curry. Se pegó un tiro para que no le atraparan vivo. Posteriormente se dijo que otra persona se había suicidado mientras Kid iba a su nave con Cassidy Sudans. En cualquier caso, no se le volvió a ver y nadie lo echó de menos. Dos teorías: o se fue a Sudamérica con Cassidy Sudans o se metió un tiro, o sea, se suicidó en el tren. Jesse James, el pequeño de los James y el más famoso de todos, por eso dicen. Bueno, el más famoso es abajo. Este ya era famoso en vida y su muerte le convirtió en leyenda. A pesar de tener una reputación del mismo Robin Hood, de hecho no era más que un ladrón y un asesino. Su juventud, Jesse y su hermano Frank fueron partisanos por la Confederación de la Guerra de Sucesión, luchando junto al infame William Quantrill y sus asaltantes. Infame. ¿Qué pollas es William Quantrill? Aquí está, militar estadounidense. Fue el jefe de una banda de guerrillas pro-confederadas durante la Guerra Civil de los Estados Unidos y es conocido por la masacre de Lawrence. ¡Hijo de puta! Este es el que mató a... Ah, mira, justo. Participó en de 200 hombres y niños Lawrence, Kansas. Más tarde, con muchos otros participantes de su descanso, fue forajido y liderado por su propia guerra privada. Hasta ellos y Frank y los hermanos Jones habían atracado trenes y bancos a James Younger. ¡Qué hijo puta! O sea, nació en el 37, en el 18 de 37. Y murió en el 65. Y tenía una cónyuge, Sarah Catherine King, que también... Vale. Acción que causó una de las mayores cifras de muertos civiles de la guerra. O sea, por culpa de esto fue esta acción causó una de las mayores cifras de muertos de la guerra civil, 200 personas. Acaba de terminar de una manera sangrienta al intentar robar Prime Banco Nacional. A ver. Termina de manera sangrienta, intentó robar un poco en unos filmes. Dos de los miembros acabaron muertos y Cole Younger entre rejas. Solo Frank y Jesse escaparon intactos. 3 años más tarde, Jesse James fundó otra banda, pero sus miembros no eran partisanos curtidos en la batalla. Frank dejó la banda y sin su habilidad, Jesse se volvió paranoico y desvió hacia sus cómplices. Su preocupación estaba justificada, ya que alguien en quien confiaba le traicionó vilmente. El 3 de abril de 1882, después de señalar su casa, y se decidió desempolvar una foto que colgaba de la pared de su salón. Se desabrochó la pistolera mientras su amigo, un tal Robert Ford, le disparaba un tiro en la parte de atrás de la cabeza para cobrar la recompensa por el famoso criminal. Así se unió a la lista de famosos. Hostia. Le ejecutaron a traición. Le ejecutaron a traición. Que justo seguramente es una de las pepitas que aún me faltan. Butch Cassidy. Autónomo de Cassidy en honor a su mentor Mike Cassidy, y se ganó la edad de Butch trabajando en el carnicero de Red Spring. La historia no los recuerda como rancheros ni como carniceros, sino como el líder de una de las bandas más conocidas en abajo oeste. Se había conocido el contexto más ampliado de la banda del agujero en la pared. A Butch se le consideraba tranquilo y sensato para su profesión, y es por eso que el grupo salvaje tuvo la mayor racha de atracos a bancos y asaltos a trenes de la historia. Hoy en día la gente siempre recuerda a Butch Cassidy como su amigo y socio Silent Kid. Ambos tuvieron que abandonar el país y refugiarse en Bolivia. También es ahí donde murieron en 1908. Fueron rodeados por un pequeño escarmiento de soldados oficiales hasta que uno de los dos, no se sabe cuál, tuvo que matar a su compañero herido y luego se suicidó. Hostia. Hostia. O sea, si lo busquéis en Wikipedia, Butch Cassidy pone que su pareja fue Sunday Kid. O sea, que eran amantes. Y murieron en Bolivia. O sea que uno de los dos estaba herido. El que estaba bien lo mató y se suicidó. No se ha demostrado que los dos americanos muertos fueron realmente que se diseñaron según la versión de la historia de Cassidy volvió a Estados Unidos con un nombre falso y vivió hasta 1996. Solo 30 años. Menos de 30 años. 28. Una cosa de ambos hombres están muertos, pero su leyenda perdura. Sí, obviamente están más muertos, son polvo, ahora mismo son polvo. Quedan 4 huesos. Eisenhower. Hostia. Me hacía... Vale. Skid. Se ganó de moto y pasó 18 meses en la cárcel por robar caballos en... Son de con 15 años. Sin embargo, la fama se le ganó se llamaba se llamaba un pistolero, aunque no hay ninguna muerte por disparos que se puede contribuir a ciencia cierta. Es posible que los periodistas de la época confundieran antes con otro miembro del viejo Kid Curry. Con este cabrón de aquí. Que este no dudaba. en disparar. No dudaba. O sea, que sangriento este. Te disparaba y seguía tan tranquilo el tío. La época junto con su Eta Place y busca si son de que se vivió a huir a Estados Unidos y esconderse en Sudamérica. Se dice que murió en 1900 con su amigo en Bolivia. Sin embargo, hay quien cree que volvió con su nombre, con otro nombre. Eso sigue siendo un misterio. Ya. Están todos muertos, son cadáveres. Dalton, Grayton, Bob y Emmett. Vamos a ver cuál es cuál. Dejan su trabajo como agentes de la ley en la década de 1890 para formar la banda de los Dalton. Su único propósito era asaltar bancos y trenes y ganar así mucho más dinero del que ganaban manteniendo el orden. Además tenían cierta envidia de la fama de sus primos famosos que tenían miembros de la banda de James. Hostia, eran primos. Acabó con la captura de Grat, que dejó atónitos a los comisarios al escapar de un tren en marcha. Grat robó la llave de sus cadenas de un guardia mientras este dormía y después se tiró por la ventana a un río cuando el tren pasaba por un puente. Los Dalton, hostia, parece de película esto, Los Dalton no siempre tuvieron tanta suerte. Uno de ellos, Bob, quiso superar la hazaña de Jesse James y surgió un plan increíblemente atrevido: robar 2 bancos a la vez. Vale, esto es lo que contaba antes en el juego. A plena luz del día 5 de octubre de 1892, los hermanos entraron a Coffeyville, su ciudad natal. ¡Hostia! Barbas postizas querían hacer lo nunca visto. El atrevido atraco acaba siendo un desastre para los hermanos y sus cómplices. Bob murió aquel día y su hermano Emmett recibió 23 heridas de bala. Sobrevivió. Acabó en la cárcel. Uy, perdón. Después recibió un indulto y murió en el 37 tras una mediocre carrera como actor y agente inmobiliario. ¿Quién son estos, pues? ¡Ay! ¡Ah! Coño. Vale, este es Bob. Este aquí es Bob Dalton. Este es Grayton. Este de aquí es Bob y este sería Emmett. Ah, no. No. Ahora sale... Este es Bob. Este es Tim Evans. Grot, Dalton y Dick. Se llama Dick, tú. Brotwell. Sí, pero las fotos salen muertos, ¿no? Estoy viendo una foto con un agujero en todo el pecho. Y... No, o es este. Este tiene un agujero en el cuello de bala. Y solo hay esta foto una y otra vez. O sea, sí. Están muertos aquí. La guerra de secesión. En 61, 64 años. O sea, todas las putas guerras duran 4 años, ¿o qué? No es uno de todos los Unión, la Unión o el Norte. En otro bando estaba los estados esclavistas, la Unión, confederados, el norte ganó por su poder industrial y su superioridad numérica. De todas las que han participado de Estados Unidos, esta fue la más sangrienta para ellos, ya que murieron 620.000 personas. Más de medio millón de personas. Pero, tío, ¿por qué es tan clavado este número? ¿No puede haber sido 618.532 personas? 620.000 clavas. Robert Ford, míralo. El hombre que mató a Jesse James. O mejor como el sucio cobarde traidor. Es el más cercano que tuvo al salvaje este hombre. Viviendo en casa de Jesse James, que nos llamaba un amigo. Asesinó al famoso forajido para cobrar la recompensa. A su vez murió cuando le disparó por sorpresa a tal Edward O'Calley. Y objetivo probablemente fuera convertirse en el hombre que mató al hombre que mató a Jesse James. Lo consiguió. También le inmortaliza de cierto modo en la lápida que le encargó a la madre de Jesse. En ella está grabada: en memoria de mi hijo amado asesinado por un traidor y cobarde cuyo hombre no merece figurar aquí. Bien poco, vale, es que se forman junto a otros traidores asesinos como Jack McCord. ¡Hostia! Menos mal. Ni me acordaba. Vale, pues aquí tengo que dejar el directo. Ha sido un placer. No hay más que añadir. Y nos vemos en el próximo directo, que seguramente sea de Mafia 3.